Taylor Vixxen, my guest tonight. Taylor, how are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. I was blown away. I used to be a lot more up to date on my porn in the early 2000s. Now it's like, you see a girl, you're like, oh, she's hot and this and that. But you harken back to a time for me. And I'm wondering if that is the look you're going for. I don't want it to sound offensive.
No.
Saying like, go back. You are like 90s blonde. I mean, I'm seeing you and I'm going, oh, Pam Anderson. Before we get into the industry and what you're working and this and that, let me ask you, how did you form your look? Was it just, natural God's grace, or what was it?
I mean, I've always kind of had this look. I've always been, my whole life, I've been that platinum blonde. I think starting, at a really young age, as our hair gets darker, us ladies love it. Our hair gets darker, as we get older. But I've always been that platinum blonde. Although since moving to Vegas, the weather here is so dry, it literally sucks the life out of you. So I kind of didn't keep the platinum. And so I'm going like a little bit darker blonde. I tried red, I tried brown. I like it all. I like to be a little bit of a chameleon, but I think I'm going to stick with kind of this honey blonde for a little while. But I guess I've always been like that. Obviously, you get into porn and you start looking a little more porny.
Sure. Sure. Porny is definitely a look, I think. And it's not a bad one either. It's like, oh my God, there's something about it. It's like the most gorgeous girl in the world, but then also you look and you go, there's something kind of dirty about her. Not dirty, just like, ooh, she's sexy. There's some, she's the girl
there's something dirty about me.
Oh, well, we'll get into that. Let me ask you, Taylor, by the way, at Taylor Vixxen, 2 X's, just in case anyone's looking around. Let me ask the boring initial, hey, how you doing question. How did you initially decide to get into the adult entertainment industry? What was your first step? And when did you... see, I always say cross the line, but it seems like I'm judging you for that. I just assume if I were going to make a life jump like that, it would take me to be like, okay, all right, push all that anxiety down right into your dick, keep it hard, and go. What was your step into this industry when you finally made that leap?
Well, I'd been in the lifestyle for about 7 or 8 years. So I was kind of around it, familiar. There's a lot of people doing the content creation, OnlyFans during COVID when it really took off. I couldn't do it because I had a corporate job. I was an executive. I had an 18-year career in finance industry, vice president of my last company. So I had quite a career, and I wasn't able to do all of the content creation when I would go to the parties and everybody was doing videos and I couldn't do it. And it sucked because I wanted to do it, but I'm like, I can't be in your video, so I can't do my own. So I'm not going to be in yours kind of thing. So obviously I decided at one point, I was like, screw it, I'm just going to start an OnlyFans. And this was like beginning of last year. And, as you can imagine, people are, snoops, and they quickly found out at my company that I had an OnlyFans. So I was outed, and I kind of made a decision that obviously most corporate companies don't like that kind of thing. They don't really care if their people are on it, but they don't like their employees to be doing that kind of porn, I guess you could say, content creation. So sure. But I mean, it's such a double standard, but anyway, so I kind of made a decision in around February, March of last year I was going to do OnlyFans. And then all of a sudden someone was like, you should do mainstream. I'm like, what's that? And literally I did not dip my toe in the water. I literally dove in head first. So, it was funny because even before, on Twitter and stuff, I didn't even show my boobs or anything. And I remember when I filmed my first scene in May of last year, and all of a sudden they started promoting it. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to show my boobs on Twitter now.
You said you were in finance before this?
Uh-huh.
So I have to ask this then. This must really be something you're passionate about, because it seems like there are so many girls I talk to who get to the point of oh, I just want to make X amount of money and then I'll leave, or oh, I just want to have this. I mean, finance, there's money there. So it seems like for someone to make a jump from this or from that to this, you must have really, really been into it. Or did you see an opportunity to make more money in this?
I mean, it wasn't really about the money for me. Obviously, you got to pay the bills, but it's just exciting. I love sex, so obviously this gives me the prime opportunity, and I feel like I'm making up for a lot of lost time in the sex aspect, if the sex is concerned. But I'm just kind of letting my freak flag fly.
So let me ask you. So you said you were in the lifestyle. Obviously, we're talking about swingers there, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It'd be funny if you were a different lifestyle. You're like, no, I'm just really into PETA. Like, I really like animals a lot.
I really like yoga.
It's the lifestyle. We go out there, we throw blood on people, paint, whatever it is. You're in the lifestyle. Was that, a young age thing? You have always been into it? Or is this something like, again, later on in life, your career, you're working this and that, and this comes along and, oh shit, I kind of like this. This is really interesting. Were you always a monogamous person and then you went into the lifestyle, or the opposite?
Yeah, always a monogamous person. And then when I met my current husband, we just started fantasy talking in bed, and he wasn't in it before. I wasn't in it before. So we just kind of started talking about where a lot of people do talk about other people. So like when you're in bed and you're fucking, all of a sudden he'd talk about like another girl, because I like girls. So, that was a fun, we have that sexy talk in bed, and then he would talk about another guy, and I would always switch back to talking about a girl because I thought he was like setting me up. I thought he'd be like, oh, I knew you liked other guys.
Caught you. Yeah.
I was told, and it took forever for me to get to like where like, okay, it's just talk. That's fun. But then like, I would always come really fast. Like when we were talking about other guys and talking about like gangbangs and guys standing over me, like stripping their dicks, and like me sucking one, sucking the other, all of a sudden I'd be like, I'd come really fast. And he's like, okay, I think we're onto something here. So from there, we just, we entered it like a lot of people did. We found a local club. We found Facebook groups. Before you know it, I was like hosting swinger parties and stuff like that.
But that is okay. I that's very funny, that trying to set me up type of thing. I'll do that with my wife. We'll be watching TV or something. I'll go, that guy's really good looking, isn't it? I don't try and set her up. I'm actually trying to get her opinion on stuff, and she plays defense immediately. She's like, oh, I don't know, Brad Pitt in Legends of the Fall, not that hot of a guy. I don't know. I go, well, what do you like then? I don't know, like a Seth Rogen type. I go, you're fucking lying. I'm an ugly guy, and I'm not built like Brad Pitt, and you won't say it, but you would lick whipped cream off of his abs. You know it.
True.
True. So, once we get to the point where it's talk, and maybe it's dirty talk, and it's driving, your own personal stuff, was there any concern about like any jealousy or anything like that would come in the first time you actually make the step and you're with another partner? Or are you just like, fuck it, we're going with it?
Yeah, everybody evolves. Like what we started off doing, everybody starts off by, well, not everybody, but we started off by kind of, like our first lifestyle club, it was just us, right? And people were watching us. And so, but if you've ever been to a lifestyle club, it doesn't really work like that. You get people that are trying to touch you, just depending on the setup of the club. So there's this, oh my God. So I'm like on top of him, like riding him cowgirl. So he's like, I'm facing the wall and he's facing like the end of these like beds side by side. Right. And I was like, babe, what's going on? You look like distracted. Like, what, like, are you like losing your heart on? What's going on? And he's like, if you could see what I see right now, he's like, there was a lady, I shit you not, there was a lady in white lace lingerie standing at the end of the bed. And she must've been a good 450 pounds. She looked like she was looking for a cupcake or she was about to dive in head first, but he was just like, she is coming any minute now. She was going to just, so I just kind of turned around. I was like, oh shit.
I was kind of going to edge into that question a little bit. You said, if you've ever been to a lifestyle party, I have not. But let me ask this. What happens? Are there rules at that party? Obviously, it's all consensual, but are there parties where it's like kind of everyone is of the understanding we're going to be consensual at this party? And then if it gets to that point, what if there's just some horrible dude who's really eyeing you up? Like, I mean, are you, it's awkward to say, are you allowed to say no at these parties? But you know what I mean? Is there a decorum where like, oh, that's the really ugly guy. I'll flick his dick a little bit if he wants me to. Or can you just flat out be like, yo, not you?
I think most parties are pretty respectful because the industry, like lifestyle in general, the people that are putting on the party doesn't tolerate crap, not in a lot of places don't even let single males. Personally, I like single males. Sure. We like single males, but a lot of people don't. So, and because there's always that one guy that kind of ruins it for everybody. So there's a ton of single males that are like super respectful. They understand the rules, the unwritten rules. It's like the ones that, we're hanging out in a club. And then the minute my husband goes to the bathrooms, like they just like pounce on you. It's like that kind of shit you just don't do. You're not supposed to do. You're supposed to say, okay, I'm going to approach the couple and have a conversation. Definitely you're not supposed to touch unless you're invited to touch. I mean, but you know what? There's just as many creepy guys as part of a couple as there are single guys too. Like the creepy couple guys will do that too, because a lot of them are like just bring their girls and try to get them into the lifestyle just so they can fuck other chicks, but they don't want their girl to like fuck other guys. So it's those people are such a red flag. And you after a 5-minute conversation, you can pick them out pretty easy. So
I think that's the most selfish thing. If you're deciding you're going to engage in this lifestyle, I think you need to be open both ways. Unless, say, like my wife is very bi. Like, I think if I died, she'd never be with another guy again. Not because I even want that. I want her out there doing gangbangs, doing everything else. But I think she just prefers chicks. I've been saying to her a lot lately, I think men are the problem. And I'm just realizing that later in life. But the idea is if, your girl is also into girls, it's great to invite them in that lifestyle. But if it goes both ways, you kind of have to commit to that. If you're going to get blown by your wife and another girl, you got to watch her get her back blown out while you get blown by her. There's a lot of blown in that there. But I think we agree, right? It should be a little bit fair, or at least discussed beforehand. This is what we want.
Yeah, we always laugh at the yeah, my girl, she just doesn't like other guys. I'm like, okay, yeah, keep telling yourself that.
I know. I did just say that, but trust me, if you could understand how much my wife hates men, that one you would be like, okay, that one's legit.
Totally, you're probably right in that case. But you can see like a lot of the men that are there, like they're just so clueless.
So, I mean, does the party event kind of filter those people out if they're too much? Is that the host's job to step in and be like, hey man, calm down over there? Or do you just not get invited back next time?
There's just a ton of different parties, right? There's a ton of different all ends of the spectrum, from like BDSM stuff to just hotel takeovers to clubs to like resorts that you go to. So there's so many different parties, and they all kind of cater to whether it's a certain crowd, a certain area, a certain whatever. So there's really something for everybody. Most of the parties are themed. I call it sexy Halloween. So it's like most of the parties are depending on the holiday, or it's a dress up theme. So you could do like, it could be like a steampunk theme or a pirate theme or football or, Halloween stuff. Anyway, there's always some kind of, I loved like I was constantly looking for outfits for swinger parties. So I have like a huge trunk with like tons of outfits. Because that was a fun part, getting dressed up and taking photos. So
see, I just pictured myself at a party getting blown, and the girl looks up and she has a tiger face painted on her because it's Halloween time, and I was like, oh, maybe this isn't the lifestyle for me personally. Let me talk about going into the industry, right? We're gonna do a thing that I like to call stat check. It is the first time I'm doing this. We'll see if people give a shit. So what I'm gonna do is we went through your IAFD, the Internet Adult Film Database. Now, those don't count a lot of ManyVids videos you might have done, or OnlyFans, or this and that. I think it's pretty much mainstream, but there are some this and that. And what I want to do is run through your stats on that, and then when I have you on a year from now, 2 years from now, and we're just counting all your awards, and we're going, oh, remember when you did that scene? We can look back at this and go, wow, do you remember when... blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So what I have the stats here for you. 24 scenes you have shot, according to this. 19 guys you have been with, which is great. That means you can still get into heaven. Girls, 1. No nominations yet, no awards yet. Totally cool. I have read you have a scene.
That's so inaccurate, but...
Oh, sure. Yeah, no. I talked to one girl one time who had done like a, I don't know, 60 guy gangbang, and her number on there was like 23. I was like, okay, that's bullshit. I understand. We just use it as kind of a measuring stick to see where the industry kind of sees you at right now. So take me to your first scene. Who was it with? Who did you shoot it with? You said you went right into doing mainstream, right?
Yeah, so it was with Hot Mills Fuck.
Okay.
They kind of specialize in your first scene or your first something, whether it's like anal, but usually what they do, they have a couple sites, but they specialize in your first. So that was my very first mainstream scene that I did. So
See, it's weird. On my question list I have here, I have, did you have any sexual firsts in porn? Have you had any sexual firsts in anything? Not just that first scene, but you mentioned first, so I thought about it. Has there been anything where you've been like, oh, I'm going to do this for the first time, and it was directly on camera? You had no chance to practice.
no, I really haven't, because like some of the stuff I've done, I have not done a gangbang yet. So I will be doing one hopefully soon.
Okay.
So I've been with like multiple guys, like 3 guys at a time, but never more than 3, besides like an orgy. And that doesn't really count because that's like couples and stuff.
Sure.
But so I'm going to do my first anal mainstream scene soon. So those are all coming up. But as far as like any first, I really haven't had any firsts. Let's see. I did give Kieran Lee a rim job, but I haven't really done that much before.
So your first really like intense time doing that on film. I think that's great.
Yeah, because I hadn't really like eaten a lot of ass before. Not gonna lie.
Sure, me either. You know, it's just not in my normal day. I read recently you shot with Leanna Lovings, who has been on this show before in the past. Is that correct?
She's a doll. Yes.
Did she direct that scene as well, or was it just acting?
That was New Sensations. So yeah, she was just in the scene. It was a girl scene. So she was great to work with. She's such a sweetheart. So
she's a girl I talked to about probably 2-3 years ago, maybe even a little longer now at this point.
Really?
And you could just tell. The reason I asked if she was a director of that scene or not is because you could tell she was going to get into the production side. She gave a shit about what it looked like, what it sounded like, what the scene was. Do you have any interest in ever getting on that side of it? Have you been on that side of it? Have you set up your own scenes and played producer and done the 95% of the work, but before you actually get to shoot the scene?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, with all my content and stuff that I make, I'm filming a lot of it myself. So I'm learning. I try to really pay attention when I'm on set, as far as like watching the lighting and how they film, how they cut, how they just all the production stuff. I do try to pay attention. So I do like that aspect. So obviously, that's the longevity probably in the industry, is getting on that side. Writing, I've got a lot of fun ideas, and my husband has a lot of fun ideas for scripts and things like that, or concepts. So that's really the most important, is like, okay, what's the scene? I'm sure it's been done a million times before, but if you can think of something creative or put a creative twist on something, then it's something new. Everybody loves something new. So
yeah, for sure.
For sure, I want to get on that side. So
it's funny, if a girl asked me nowadays, what do I need to get into porn? My answer wouldn't be like bigger tits or anything like that. It would be, I don't know, some marketing classes at your local community college and learn how to do Adobe Premiere or Final Cut. Like, if you said those 2 things up, and there's a lot of women that can be successful in this. What was your expectation of being on a set versus the reality of it? Did you go to set thinking like this is going to be some big glamorous thing, and then there was a cheese tray off in the corner? Or did it always kind of meet your expectation? Did you keep your expectations low and then they surprised you? What was that?
Well, the one thing I didn't really ever understand is how they were filmed, as far as and everyone's a little different, but for the most part, it's pretty, they want certain positions. Some of them are pretty just gonzo. They're like, do whatever, but we got to get these positions. But it's crazy to me how like most of them are cut up. It's like, do a position and stop, then take some photos and stop. I mean, obviously I like the ones that are filmed straight through, but that was really the thing that was surprising to me. And it's hard on the guys. Let me tell you, like, that's like that you were just saying, like, what does a girl need? not a ton, but for a guy, it's a lot of work as far as keeping your dick hard and like keeping your dick constantly hard. And, whether you have assistance with that or not, I don't know. It's just crazy, the stopping and starting. And it's really hard to, my thing for me, I really want to make it as realistic as possible. So the less stopping and starting you can do, the better. But obviously, my job is to make it look as, like a normal sex as possible. So
it's funny. People always rip the porn acting, and it's been a joke for 40 years or whatever it is. The girl coming in and, oh, I need my pipes fixed. Blah blah blah. blah.
Yeah.
The acting, it sounds like
that the other day.
You got your pipes fixed the other day. Taylor Vixxen at Taylor Vixxen 2X's, just so people know. Taylor Vixxen gets her pipes fixed.
Quentin James fixed my pipes.
There you go. It's funny
that thing's not out yet.
The acting, people rip that for the beginning part of it, but it seems like the acting is really in the middle. I didn't realize you're doing stills in between that. So say we're doing one position, right? We're doing doggy here. How many are we doing? 2 minutes of that? 3 minutes of that? Are we doing 10 and then
Usually
cutting?
It's about 5. I would say it's about 5 or 6 minutes per position. It's on average kind of what I see, because it's funny though, because if you're actually having sex, like in your personal life, who does the same position for 5 minutes? Like I certainly don't. No. But so, but I guess they want to get, a lot of times they'll do position. And I like when they do this, I like when they'll do the position and then they really do different angles of it. So they'll do like POV for a minute or two. They'll do, real close up for a minute or two, and then they'll do just like regular. So I like that. It kind of breaks it up a little bit, but it does make it a little bit, longer to film, because a lot of times they're switching camera, like, so they're POV, they got to move positions. And then, but I like it like that, because at least it breaks it up a little bit rather than just, obviously when you're doing content, it's a little different because you either have a camera set up or you're doing POV. Most people don't have like someone helping them film. It's just kind of, they're doing it on their own. So
Sure. So let me ask, and this isn't an indictment of it, but does porn sex suck? No, it's good.
Not at all. I mean,
I don't mean suck like this is shitty. I mean, like, compared to just a nice night with somebody, is it like a drop off? Obviously, what we see at the end is the most miraculous, amazing thing. And it definitely ruined my brain when I was a child, and I've only now recovered. But not child, 18 years old. Day I turned 18 is when I first started watching porn. Not true. But does it? Does it suck in comparison to actually having sex with someone, being on set, or is it awesome?
No, it's awesome. I mean, especially if you love sex like I do. So, I mean, it's the positions that you actually do when you're filming are probably a lot cooler than the positions you would just do at home. It's like, I mean, who's throwing their leg like this? Typically, you don't do that when you're, just having sex on your own. So that's what's kind of fun. And honestly, like for me, the fun part about it is like learning new positions to do, or like finding out someone that feels amazing that you would have never tried. You're like, oh shit, I'm about to come. So I'm like, I'm trying that at home. I'm doing that at home. I'm like taking notes. So that's the great thing. But lifestyles is that as well. It's really helped like my personal sex life is like, you learn new things, you learn what feels good, stuff you would have never tried. I mean, you're with all these partners, they obviously know a few tricks, right?
Well, and you said something there. Have you become more or less, I wrote down the word promiscuous here. I don't want to use the word slutty if some girl is like, ugh. Have you become more or less promiscuous since you've gone into the industry?
Oh, definitely more, because in a way it kind of desensitizes you to everything. So porn, it's like just the act of sex. It's just like your normal, I mean, it's everybody's normal, but you just doing it in front of people, right, that are filming and having yourself out there 100% everywhere on your websites, your social media, all that kind of stuff. It does desensitize you. It makes it like not that big of a deal to be naked and to be out there. And so I feel like I have to slut it up a little more to like keep raising the bar,
Do other people, so wait, can I ask, do you still engage in like lifestyle parties and this and that outside of this?
Not as much, but I still do like the hot wife thing.
Okay.
So, I'm about to launch a new series on my subscription sites to do a whole Hot Wife series, because here's the deal. Like when you're doing your own content, it's people don't want, like, I've done a lot of collabs with other performers, but from what I'm after hearing from fans, they don't want that. They can go look up your porn on any site, Pornhub, all that jazz, all those places. So what they want for my content, for my subscription sites, is they want to see my real life. They want to see my real experiences, and they want to see like fan fuck stuff. So my new series I'm gonna be launching next week is 100% like real, not scripted, real fan fuck stuff. So, but the thing you have to, lifestyle is obviously pretty safe, but being in the industry, the one thing you have to take into consideration is that, everybody's got to be tested or use protection. So when you go into that fan stuff, and you're meeting someone, just to do for the night, like they're not tested. So you got to use protection and all that kind of stuff. But that's the cool thing, is that when people see that, they know it's like a real hookup. So
sure.
I'm still thinking of a name for it. I got to think. I'm thinking of like Vegas hookups or Vegas hot wife, something. I don't know yet. I don't know what. So
something like that. I'm feeling. No, my creativity brain is turned off right now. I'm just like looking at questions like, okay, what do I hit her with?
I'm thinking like hot wife hookups or something like that, but I don't know if that's too generic.
That's again, no offense to you. Your creativity, I'm sure, is off the charts. That one, I feel like, Vegas hot. Maybe you need to pick like a smaller like Reno hookups. Just call it that. I don't know, whatever it is. My old Wichita hookups. Yeah, exactly. Do you have friends in the industry?
Absolutely. Yeah. I've met the most amazing people in the industry. So everybody, for the most part, is very welcoming, supportive, which has been a pleasant surprise. For the most part, everybody's very, like, especially the women, and lifestyles that way too, which was what drew us to it, is that women are not catty. For the most part, women aren't catty, jealous. It's really nice to have people that are open-minded, and you're wearing like your titties are hanging out, and they're like, "Oh, babe, you look hot," as opposed to like, "Look at that whore over there." Where you go to vanilla bar, and every now and then I'll go to like vanilla stuff. Obviously, I live in Vegas, but Vegas is a little crazier than most places. But it just sucks when you go into those vanilla places and you get all the glares from all the ladies, thinking I'm going to steal their husbands and shit, which I won't, because I don't care. But
sure.
They think that that's just women. Women are catty for the most part, that aren't in lifestyle or industry or something like that. So
I know, it's so crazy. I would think that would be more. Maybe I'm thinking of it from a guy's perspective. I've heard the same thing from every girl I've interviewed. I'm like, yo, if I was a chick, I would probably be tearing girls' hairs out. No, I want that scene. Give me that scene. I want to do that. Is there competition for scenes, or do you get the call? These are your offers. Go through them, whatever. Because I assume it's not like, in the corporate world where we talked about, where they may interview 30 people for something. It's more like, this girl fits this type of scene we want to shoot here. Here's our list, blah, blah, blah. But do you ever get like angry or jealous that someone else got maybe not specifically with a person, but is there a site you really want to shoot with, but like they just haven't called yet?
Well, I shot a Milfy scenes. That's not out yet. But I really would love to film with some of the other Vixen sites. So Blacked, I want to do Blacked. But the way they kind of work is that my scene hasn't come out yet. So that needs to come out first, and then you can start doing. So I understand that one. I'd really like to do my first anal scene with Tushy. So I like a lot of the Vixen sites. I film with Brazzers like 4 times. They're great to work with. I just filmed with Elegant Angel, New Sensation. So there's a lot of, I've got my first adult time, which was really big for me. I really want to do more features. So more acting stuff, more longer features. I'd love to work with Jules Jordan. I'd love to, like I said, any of the adult time. So hopefully once I do that first one, that will kind of break me into that. So
I gotcha. The Vixen stuff is just so beautifully shot. It always seems like that's high end stuff. The other one I like is Amateur Allure. They hit you with, now that's a bigger name still. No?
I don't think I know that one. Yeah.
They have just the best camera and the most beautiful, like, bright light. But I also think about what it would be like to be the performer. I often put myself in the mind of these women that I watch, and I'm just kidding. It's just the brightest fucking light I've ever seen, but it always makes it so beautiful at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, that would be. I mean, I'm always looking for new stuff. I do a lot of stepmom. I do a lot of MILF stuff, but I want to do other stuff. Like I just got nominated for a Fanny Award. I've gotten nominated for a lot of MILF stuff, even though you didn't have it on your thing. So I got nominated.
I only do AVN. I totally get it. I only do AVN because, Urban X,
but I got nominated for an AVN this year, but it was a fan award. So MILF. So yeah.
I'm changing it then. I'm going to put one.
Yeah.
That I count fan awards. I'm totally fine with that.
But it was crazy. So they have the Fannies, which is going on right now, which is going to be at Exotica Chicago. And I kind of get a lot of the stuff I've gotten nominated for is either like new performer or MILF. But I actually got nominated. And this wasn't one of those ones where there's like 20 different nominees. There's like 8. So I got nominated for Thirsty Girl, which is best blowjob scene, which I'm super excited about because I love giving blowjobs. And it just the fact that people, and I'm trying to remember like, what are my better blowjob scenes? And I did this scene with Isaiah Maxwell for Interracial Pass. And I don't know, this blowjob was like sloppy. There was like spit flying everywhere. And his dick was like down my throat. I'm like, I think it was maybe that one that people saw because that was pretty damn hot. So I haven't done a blow bang yet, but I want to do one.
Is an Isaiah Maxwell dick a gift or a curse?
Oh, I think it's definitely a gift. He's got a great dick.
I have to ask him if it's a curse, though. I know, right? But I mean...
Well, I mean, he's had a lot of the success, that he's had because he does have a great dick. I mean, if it was him with a 4-inch dick, would he still be successful? Yes, because he's amazing and he just knows what he's doing and he's got that charisma in front of the camera. But I think the dick helps,
Sure. Okay. All right. Yeah. See, I've never been cursed with that, so we're good. We're good.
Although, let me tell you though, like I've filmed content with him and I've done a scene with him. And let me tell you, in that scene, there was a couple points when he's getting a certain angle, and I'm like, I was like, I don't know where that's going, but it might come up my throat any minute.
I don't know where in my body this is moving, but it wasn't where it started. I know that for sure.
You can see my eyes like tearing up at a couple of points. I'm like,
Did you ever get any good advice from anyone, like anyone that had been in longer than you or anything like that?
Oh gosh. I feel like I've gotten a ton of good advice. There's so many strong, supportive women that, from like Kendra Lust and Brandy Love and Brittany Andrews and like, Rochelle Ryan, all these girls that are like super sick, like Penny Barber, like all these girls that I just respect so much, that have been in the industry a long, long time. A lot of it's just kind of watching what they do and, how they perform and stuff like that. But I just think that a lot of these women have just great business sense. And so, I just watch their work ethic and stuff like that. And I look at what they post and things like that. And all these ladies, just anybody that has longevity in the industry, whether it's a guy or a girl, that's a big testament to their work ethic because this industry is not easy. And especially to stay relevant is hard. So, and I'm new, so I just respect all these people that have been in the industry for, 10 plus years or longer. So, not specific advice, but, I've talked to a lot of them and, everybody's always giving people advice as far as who they like to work with and good directors and great companies and things like that. So
none of them have given you a big golden rule. It's more just the kind of as you roll down the road, these little things. I remember this. I'll pick up on this. Make sure I do this. Try this. That doesn't work for me. Maybe it works for someone else. That's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what I've heard from multiple people is kind of, do the things you want to do. Like I think one of the big thing is don't be pressured to do something that you don't want to do. Don't be pressured to do something that's like outside of, because you feel like you have to, to get a role or you have to. So I think that's a big thing is like, stand up for yourself, whether it's on set or just with other people. I think that I see a lot of these ladies that do that. And that's really important for me is just to kind of speak up for yourself, and don't let people push you around because you gotta be tough.
So rather than asking this in terms of when you got into the industry, let me ask it in this sense. Was when you came into the lifestyle, was there a kink or a fetish that you thought, nah, I got no interest in that really? And then you tried it and you were like, oh shit, that's pretty cool, actually. Is there anything like that?
Well, I do kind of like anal. Like I never thought I would really like that. I didn't really do it much before. I haven't ever done a scene anal, so I'm just like I call it I do relationship anal. You know?
Oh, that's sweet. That's nice.
I know, right? I don't know. There's a lot of things I like. I love my nipples being pinched really hard when I'm coming. I don't know why I never thought I would like that, but I love it. I love being tied up. I love being spanked. I never thought I would like that kind of stuff. I love being like restrained, but I've never done any of that stuff like in scenes. But yeah, it's a huge turn on for me. I like that. I don't like being blindfolded. I like to be able to see, but I do like to be tied up.
Okay, so then let me ask you the inverse of that question. I used to phrase this as a game called SAK, S-A-K, and that stood for shit, animals, and kids. I would ask a girl this question, and inevitably I would get one of those answers like, well, I wouldn't fuck a kid. And then I go, yeah, we know. You wouldn't be here if you would.
Don't say the obvious.
What is a kink or fetish that is somewhat mainstream that you just really have no interest in pursuing, where you're like, that ain't me, that's not my brand, whatever it is?
I guess I don't like the extreme BDSM stuff.
Sure.
The one thing I actually, to go back to the other that I'm getting more into that I never thought I would do is like the cuckolding thing. So like me being dominant and like doing the cuckolding. And I've kind of gotten into that. It wasn't something that I ever thought I would like, but now it's like, I really love it. So, like kind of the humiliation side of it, as far as like me being dominant, or doing like having like a cuckold, and then me like, you know, the BBC is kind of the fetish, and then the cuckold things. I'm really kind of getting into the humiliation of the other guy. It's kind of fun. I've done some customs. I've done stuff like that. I've never done a scene, but I'd like to. So that's kind of really fun for me. I never thought I would be into that because I always was like, I never really thought I liked that degrading side of it because I didn't want to be mean.
Sure.
Now, like, sit back and watch me get fucked.
I was going to ask, and again, if it's too personal, stop me. In your relationship, was that ever a factor? Was it always like, this is love, I like watching Taylor get fucked by another guy? Or was there a part of like, for the other person, like, I want to feel bad about this? Or was that never a thing? No.
Yeah, okay. Never. And everybody always assumes that. And I'm like, not even a little bit. He's so far from a cuckold.
It's just this whole world has only recently come into our lexicon. So when I hear, yeah, my wife fucks other guys, my first thought from the outside would be, oh, that's that cuck thing everyone's chit-chatting about in the break room. Are you? Yeah,
I mean, the one thing I always tell people is just because watching, that's the thing about lifestyle. The lifestyle should be about wanting to see your partner get pleasure and also being turned on by your partner getting pleasure. It doesn't have to be, doesn't make you a cuckold, whether you're a guy or a girl watching that. It just means like you really love your partner and you want them to experience new things that they've never experienced before. And like you get pleasure by watching that. It doesn't have to be like the humiliating thing. Now that's what it is for a lot of people. And that's cool. You know, you like that? That's cool, you know, but
sure.
Yeah.
So your guy doesn't have a thing, because I would think, obviously it's not a real cuckold thing. You're not really like shitting on your guy right over there. You and him went into this world together. But is there ever a thing where maybe you're with another guy and you're like, and if your guy is in the room, I know I'm like throwing all these guys into this scenario and I can't put it together in my own head, where it's kind of like, do you ever shit talk a little bit? Like, do you like that? Do you like me getting fucked by another guy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Because that's fun. You like watching me get fucked. Like that's fun because he does. So, but it's not like
degrading.
Yeah. I wouldn't ever do, oh, he fucks me better than you because that's not, but a lot of people want to hear that. So like when I'm doing a cuckold thing, like, God, I mean, people want to hear your dick is so small. You can't fuck me like this, like that kind of stuff. You know, like that there's a line, right? And depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you know, you either cross the line or you don't, you know, you stay in your lane.
You said it earlier, and as I was going through some of your scenes, I was like, oh, well, that is a trend there. Do you like, you are hot blonde mommy is what I would assume is your quote unquote role in this industry so far. Obviously, you're very flexible, and you can play multiple roles, I assume. Award, you were nominated for an award, so I mean, that means you're a hell of an actress. But do you like the mommy role? Is there any awkwardness, or was there any awkwardness coming into that for you where you're like, oh, I don't know, some younger dude calling me mommy? Because that's the thing. We know that's been the thing for the last 10 years. The faux incest type thing has been the thing.
Yeah.
Do you have any, not that you have a problem, like you won't shoot with it, but how do you feel about that? How do you sit with that?
I don't really have a problem with it. Like, cause I know, like, that's not, I mean, like, I know all these guys are of age, right? I do like the young guy thing. I think that's hot. I think, and if I can be with two guys that don't equal my age, that's even hotter together. Two guys together. But I did a scene recently. It's not out yet. It was for Team Ski. Team Ski has been great to work with. They're a great studio. They are kind of known for pushing the envelope a little bit as far as the taboo stuff. And they do. And I did a scene called Mom Swap. And the premise of the scene was, it was August Sky and me, and then the guys were Parker Sims and Mighty D. And these guys like are young, they look young, and they made them look really young. They made them like nerds, right? So the premise of the scene was that we were neighbors, and these are our sons, right? They don't even really do the stepson thing. They were our sons, and we did where we're helping each other's sons because they're really dorky. We're helping each other's sons like get some experience with sex. But then the way they do the mom swap is that you swap, and then like as like she's fucking like Parker, which was my son, like I'm like, oh, that feel good. You like go that dick going in your, you like your dick going in her pussy. How's her pussy feel? And then I'm like touching, and like the dick will fall out, and I'll put it back in. And then all of a sudden, like we do a quick like swap at the end where like we fuck our own sons or something like that. Sure. So I mean, that's the taboo of it. And I remember I did this reel. We did a reel, and it was like I kiss her son, she kisses mine, we kiss each other, and then we kiss our sons. And I put it on Instagram, and oh, let the haters come out. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Da, da, da. I'm like, are you idiots? You really think that's like my son? And they're like, you're promoting incest. I'm like, I just literally was like, are you people stupid? You guys are the ones that are commenting on the AI girls, like they're not even a real person. You're like, you're so beautiful. I'm like, it's a freaking AI. It's a computer generated. Like, you don't realize that every photo she's like, I'm in front of the Parthenon, and it's like, are you that stupid?
I'm going to post a promo picture of this interview we're doing, and I'm going to get 5 or 10 messages in my mailbox saying, hey, Taylor. And it's like, hey, fucko, look at the name. All right. I'm a show. I'm not the person. I'm just having the person on. Yes, they are that dumb.
Are you going to be in Washington, D.C. anytime soon?
Obviously, all the people listening to this are definitely not in that category. And if you are, fix that up, please. Let me, all right, as we work towards it, what are our goals? Do you have an ultimate goal? Are they small plateaus you want to hit? You've obviously talked about you want to shoot with more of the Vixen stuff, but is there like a grand thing where you go, hey, once I get here, that's my top, not that I'll leave, but this is where I want to be? I know that's a really confusing question. Do you have milestones you've set? That's an easier way to say it.
Not really. I mean, obviously there's a lot of studios I want to work with. I want to do more features. I want to do more acting. I mean, it would be really cool to be able to be known for the fact that I can act, as much as we can act as doing porn. Obviously doing crossover stuff would be really cool. There's a lot of stuff that kind of is hinging in between, regular Hollywood acting movies, and there's like the B stuff kind of in there. That would be fun to do some stuff like that. I love hosting events. Would love to do that. So just, and obviously doing more than just MILF stuff. So just trying some new things. Obviously the gangbang and the anal and blow bang, all that kind of stuff I want to do this year. So yeah, I mean, and it, all the awards I've been nominated for already were really cool. So there's so many different award shows. It's one after the next.
So oh man, by the way, the headline I saw on a couple of your things are from the boardroom to the bedroom. It's like, I get it. So let me ask, I know that between the boardroom to the bedroom, you never stripped or danced or anything like that. Does that interest you at all in this term of being like feature? I'll tell you what, one time I went with my buddy, there was a small club near this Air Force base and they were having two huge stars. And I went, we have to go. We have to go. They weren't even dancers. They were just porn stars. It was Gianna Michaels and Sophie D. And, I mean, the money that was dumped on them at one night was just an incredible amount. I have a great story if I ever get.
And were they dancing or were they just like out in the middle, like hosting?
I mean, they were turning. They were coming around the bar and tipping, getting 20s tipped to them.
Yeah, so that's like, I would totally do that. Like, I'm not a stripper, but I would go like host and like where you go and you do like the little thing out in the middle. Sometimes you do like where they give you like a money thing and you like shoot dollars out.
Sure.
And then like I would do like lap dances and stuff. Like that's fun. I love to do lap dances.
Sure. Now, do you have any insight into that? Are those well-paying things when people go on those like small tours? Or?
Yeah, I think so. And it's good exposure. So I mean, there's all kinds of clubs. I know all kinds of girls that go out and do. They're either feature dancing or they're hosting. I love that kind of stuff. So, and hosting events and things like that. So, yeah.
We decided to stay for the second show that night, and I got so drunk because the bartender was this gorgeous girl dressed like a 50s pinup type of thing.
Oh, cool. I love that.
I'm just pounding money down on the table going, "Give me another drink. Give me another drink." And at the end of the night, I'll tell this story since I haven't told it in a while. Sophie D, who, millions and millions of followers, she's been around since the early 2000s. She was one of the girls dancing, and we were both sitting at the bar together. I mean, it was cleared out, and the feature dancer was sitting at the bar. And I believe, though, don't hold me to it, that Sophie may have had a few drinks that night. And we're looking at each other, and I'm staring at her in what my friend describes as, you look at her like you're a monkey looking through glass at people for the first time. You're like, what the fuck is this thing? And I have all these dollars splayed out on the bar because obviously I'm a mess at this point. And she looks at me and she takes her Bud Light bucket and she just puts her hand on the bar quite drunkily and dumps all of my money into it. And I just look at her and I go, okay, all right. So there are opportunities for you to clean up on the road. I just don't want you to ever discount that. Definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely. I'm down.
You don't have to go up there, break your spine doing like, acrobats in the air, but a swing around the pole. Hey, everybody. My name's Taylor Vixxen at Taylor Vixxen, Vixxen. Please, I think too, any of those people who sign up for any of your sites after that are like committed. Like if I see you in person and you're nice to me and kind to me, you motorboat, whatever it is that happens, I'm going like, oh, she's got a lifetime right here. Like I will follow this woman forever.
Come here, baby. There will be a lot of motorboat coming up at Exotica Chicago. There will be a lot of motorboat going on and probably some lap dances. I don't know. I like to get into it. So people are out. It's one of the bigger conventions, so it should be fun.
Look, I understand it is the armpit of America, but don't discount coming to New Jersey for Exotica next year, okay?
Yeah, I was there this last year.
I was there too, walking around awkwardly.
It was fun. It was a great good show. Yeah, I thought the fans were great at that show. So
that's good because I've seen some shitty behavior in the past. That's a good question. What has anyone recognized you in public yet?
Yes, absolutely. I've gotten recognized, well, obviously out in Vegas, of course, and I get recognized a lot more now. Now that people are seeing me here, I get recognized a lot. I've gotten recognized in the airport a couple times. So, and I get a lot of, it's funny. I never used to really pay attention to people around me. Like I would walk with my head down and stuff like that. But now I get a lot of looks and I see that it's like guys together and they'll be, put their heads down and I can tell they know, like sometimes it's like, I know who she is, but I can't place the name or I know, like, and they're scared to say something to me. But I get a lot of that. I can see people recognize me, but they just either too afraid to say something or they're like, she must do porn. Let's try to find her. I don't know. Get a picture.
She's like kind of like a 90s bombshell, but there's a little bit of dirtiness to her. She must do porn. Let's look her up.
Exactly.
Now, talk me through real quick, what is the appropriate way for somebody to approach you? Because I don't want to give the green light to anyone to run up and go, this is the girl that fucks. Hey, just so you know, in the middle of the airport. Is there an appropriate, what's the best way to do it? Obviously not if you're with somebody shopping at a store or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. If you're eating dinner, stay away.
Come up and just say hello. Come up and say, hey, a lot of guys, I'll get like, hey, I just wanted to come up and say hi and meet you. And then usually I'll give them a card or something like that. So I always have like little cards on me that have my Instagram, my Twitter and stuff like that. So, and links to my website. So, I mean, that's kind of what I do. I mean, that's, I'm obviously promoting myself. Right. So, I love people to come up to me. I love that. I was out the other night. I go to this comedy thing in Vegas all the time. It's like every Friday night. This like Dirty at 12:30, and it's different comics that come in. It's really fun. And like, oh my gosh, it's always comics that are in town, but it's like they don't promote a lot of the comics. Like they'll just show up. So you never know who you're going to see. I think like a couple weeks ago was, I'm trying to think who was all there. Jeff Ross was there. I mean, it's like big comics. And they'll come in and do like a, 15-minute set or whatever. And so there's always like 4 or 5 comics, but it's a late night. But I get recognized there all the time now because people know that I go. And so people will come show up and, pictures and autographs and things like that. It's fun.
Wonderful. Last question I have for you. Obviously, I won't ask you to disclose any names unless you want to really burn someone right now. Have you had celebrities in your inbox?
I have.
Okay. Can I ask, are they sports stars?
A couple.
That seems like the most common answer I get. I really think a lot of these sports stars are kind of, especially NBA players, like those dudes love it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we got a football team here in Vegas, and we got a hockey team here in Vegas. And I'm pretty partial. I do like hockey guys, and I do like football. So those are my favorite sports. Those are my 2 favorite sports. I really love football, but hockey guys, something about those hockey guys, it's just like sexy. I don't know. Something like those accents that I don't know where it's from, Russia or whatever.
Well, it's
Golden Knights are fun game to go to. They totally like hockey, but like Vegas up. So it's fun.
It's a lot easier to go down on a girl when you have no teeth in the front, though. You can just kind of push your tongue through. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today, Taylor Vixxen. You can find links to everything she's doing in the episode description. At Taylor Vixxen, 2 X's in there. Make sure you check her out. Taylor, thank you so much for coming on with me tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.